Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Anime, and welcome back to another My Hero Academia review. This time we will be reviewing Season 2, Episode 18, or Episode 31 of My Hero Academia. I apologize that I am a day late. I had some in-real-life stuff I had to deal with yesterday. I let you guys know on Twitter. If you do not follow me, please feel free to follow me on Twitter. The link will be down below for updates regarding the channel and whenever there will be delays in the future. But I do apologize for that. And anyway, let's get right to it. I cannot wait to hear what you guys thought of this episode, the aftermath of the Stain fight. Personally, I enjoyed the episode, and I think what this episode did tremendously well is we finally have defeated Stain. We've defeated probably the most notorious villain that we know of at the moment that's been going around, taking out heroes, paralyzing heroes, killing heroes. And so you think this episode would be a nice, relaxing episode where it's like, oh man, yeah, the threat's gone. But what this episode did so well is they low-key, not even low-key, but like subtly introduced more problems. And more problems that are going to happen because they defeated Stain. I mean, you would think that just you defeat a huge villain right now, maybe the #1 most wanted villain, which is Stain. You would think that that Deku, Todoroki, and Ito would be showered with praise, showered with rewards. Instead, the police chief comes in and rips them all apart and says that you guys and the people that were following you, Endeavor, Gran Torino, and Manuel, I believe that was Ida's trainer, or the person he was interning under, are all going to be in serious, serious trouble. Or we can say Endeavor took down Stain, and that's that. And I love this interaction, too, because Todoroki gets so pissed. He's like, we literally, what should we have done? We should have let Native, the other pro hero, get killed. And if we didn't do anything, Ito would have been killed. You know, me and Midoriya might have been killed. We stopped someone that's been, you know, going around murdering heroes, paralyzing heroes, making an example out of heroes. And you're going to scold us and punish us. And Ida and Midoriya are trying to get Todoroki to calm down. And the chief of police is just like, we can say Endeavor won, Endeavor, and that's that. You guys won't get in trouble. But you won't be praised for your notoriety. You won't be praised for your heroism. You won't be praised for taking down the hero killer Stain. And I'm watching this and I was just, I'm like, because I know they don't have a choice because they're not going to let Gran Torino and everyone they were interning under get in serious trouble, and they weren't going to get in serious trouble, which could end up ruining their lives and ruining their chances of becoming a pro hero, especially with how much is at stake in Midoriya's case, where he has to be the next All Might pretty much. So I knew that they were going to let Endeavor take all the credit, and that was, that annoyed me because I thought it was, you know, really well done, and it made sense that you can't have heroes who are not even heroes, students really, going around and using their quirks because the general public would kind of feel very bad about it, and we know that everyone at the police station said they deserved to be severely punished. So the general consensus, the public would have praised them, I shouldn't say that, but the other people that are in more, I guess, higher power than just regular citizens, where the police, that's mainly what I'm talking about, took a great deal of discontent with that. And so because of that, they don't get credit for it, and they'll never know, and no one will ever know that these three students miraculously, I will use that word, took down Stain. And so you have an episode, you have the aftermath where the main baddie at the moment is gone, and you would think that these three are going to be in great shape, they're going to get praised over the roof, but no. And it's not even like the threat is gone, because this episode introduced a huge problem. At the end of this episode was great. Gran Torino calls All Might, and he's just like, Stain had an ideology, and that ideology is going to be linked incorrectly to the League of Villains, to Shigaraki's League of Villains. And as he's talking about it, you see these characters. You see Toga, the crazy girl. The only reason I know her name, and I believe the guy with the scarred face is Dabi, or Davi, something like that. The only reason I know those two names is because I've been waiting for these two to make their appearance. I know the girl, I know Toga's quirk. I don't know anything else about them, but it was kind of minorly spoiled for me by a friend. Still, it's not enough where I'm like, oh crap, you know, the whole show's ruined. No, but I've been waiting for these two because these two are apparently incredibly written villains, and I cannot wait to see them in action. We didn't hear them speak, but I thought Toga's introduction was great. She's listening to the news report about Stain on her headphones while smiling and walking down some alleyway, and then we see Dabi, I believe that's his name, I might be wrong, with the scarred face watching the news report, and he kind of walks down a back alley, and Dabi looks like he's dead inside. The whole bottom half of his face is ripped off. Toga looks like a crazy X, so you can tell that these two are going to be awesome, awesome characters. They might have introduced some other characters during that scene where Gran Torino is telling All Might that the League of Villains is probably going to gain a lot of momentum because now they're not just clowns that attacked UA. They are these people, they are this group that has the ideology behind it, an ideology that a lot of people can maybe agree with and get behind, because I think that's why a lot of people liked Stain, and I love Stain too. You kind of understood what he was doing, and he was of the thought that heroes shouldn't be in it for money, they should be in it to save people, they should be old school, and we learned that All Might actually inspired him to try to become a hero. He dropped out of training, and then for 10 years he just practiced his killing skills, and then he went on a rampage to try to bring old heroism back. And it's not the way he did it I thought was horrible, just killing people. Obviously, murder is not going to get you anywhere, but that's what he was doing. And also, he's a hypocrite because I've said this in the last review. Ida's brother is such a pure-hearted guy, and he made an example out of him. That's why he didn't kill him. He wanted to keep him alive to make an example out of him. So he was still not, while the ideology was there, he was still a villain. There's or an anti-hero. You can't say that, what Stain was doing was 100% correct. But it's correct enough where you can understand where he's coming from. And now that the League of Villains has his ideologies behind them and associated with them, even though he hated the League of Villains, he had nothing to do with them. He wanted to kill Shigaraki. He probably would have killed I forget the teleporting guy's name, if he had the chance. He hated them. And so that will be also an interesting dynamic where do Toga and Dabi, the two guys we see, or the guy and the girl that we see, will they join the League of Villains? And if they join the League of Villains because of Stain's ideologies, down the road, is that going to be a problem? Because Shigaraki, what is he going to do? Is he going to lie and say, those are our ideologies, when they're not? He just wants to kill All Might, and he just wants to, from what we know, just pretty much burn the world, just set the world on fire. Is he going to lie and say, yes, Stain was part of our crew? And is that going to come back to haunt him way down the road? That is going to be a very interesting dynamic to see play out. There wasn't too much else that happened in this episode. Unless I can't think of it, I did see it Saturday. I'm recording this Sunday night. That's right. Actually, we did learn that the person who gave All Might the really bad scar, and the person who killed All Might's master, the person who had, not All Might's master, but All Might's, not predecessor, the person All Might was the predecessor to, I can't remember his name, but the person who had the All for One quirk, or the One for All quirk before All Might had it, was killed by someone referred to as All for One, which is the opposite of All Might's quirk, and now Deku's quirk, One for All. I'm not sure if that's the name of the villain, but I think we can probably make the connection that All for One, this All for One person, or code name, or whatever it may be, is maybe the head of the League of Villains. And All Might even says, how the hell did he survive what I put him through, or the attack that he got dealt? And his quirk, and it would make sense if it is All for One, is to give other quirks to people, and that's why Nomu had multiple quirks, which I've already gone over. In my opinion, and I think in a lot of people's opinions, is obviously terrifying, just being able to give quirks to whoever he wants. I'm sure there's probably some kind of repercussions. Otherwise, Shigaraki would probably have 30 quirks, or the Nomu would have a bunch of quirks, and that's why Nomu couldn't think for himself, and he was a regular human being and now just has no brain function. There are definitely going to be repercussions to that, giving other people quirks, but we're just going to have to wait and see, because we really don't know at this point. But guys, it was a really good episode. Next episode is very interesting because it's a filler episode. It's not a manga episode. It even says in the preview it's an anime-only episode. As someone like myself who has never read the manga, every episode is an anime-only episode to me. They've done a great job at following the manga, and everyone who's read the manga has said they've done so well for the manga. They've done the manga so much justice. So, what do you guys think? For the people who have read the manga, are you worried about this episode, or are you excited about this episode? Because I'm just kind of curious for your opinion, because for someone like me who's seen the anime, to hear about that it's an anime-exclusive episode doesn't really mean much to me, because every episode I watch is pretty much anime exclusive. But I think it's a cool dynamic, because the one complaint that I've seen from a few people, it's a minor complaint because I don't really see too many complaints from the show, is that we don't know where the other students were at their internships or what they really did or what they maybe went through at their internships. And I don't think that was ever really covered in the manga. And this episode, maybe it's going to be narrated by Sue, which Sue is awesome. I don't know any person who doesn't like Sue, who doesn't like Froppy. This episode is going to go over what all the students went through at their internships, and I think that's really cool. I think the characters are loved by me. They're loved by pretty much everyone in the community, maybe besides Mineta. And so, sorry, I had to make a Mineta joke. And so I think that it works, and it's going to be kind of a cool episode, and then we'll go into the final 6 or 7 episodes before My Hero Academia Season 2 comes to an end, and hopefully we hear some sort of announcement about Season 3. But I really enjoyed the episode. Let me know all your thoughts down below. Cannot wait to talk to you guys. I hope you have an amazing day, and as always, thank you for watching.